I'm with a lady who's been making quite a name for herself in riding circles back in the UK, Shelley Birkett, this year's leading female apprentice. Congratulations, first of all, you've had an amazing year.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, it's gone really well, better than I could have ever dreamt of. I've ridden 22 winners this year in my first year as an apprentice, and I've ridden for some big trainers, I've ridden some nice horses, and I'm just living the dream at the minute, riding every day and really enjoying it.
You're here in Abu Dhabi because you've just ridden in a race, and not a bad effort from your horse, but what's the experience been like?
Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I've never ridden abroad before, and I've never ridden an Arab before, so it was all new to me. But the track was absolutely lovely to ride around, just like Kempton back in the UK. Lovely surface, and my horse gave me a great ride, just wasn't good enough in the end, but I'm really happy and can't wait to do it again someday.
Just going back to the UK season, you say you had an unbelievable year. What did you hope to achieve? Was it, you just hoped to ride a few winners? Because it must have certainly surpassed that.
That's right, yeah. I was amateur for a couple of years, and then I was so light, my weight was really good, I decided to turn apprentice just to see how it went really, just ride a few every now and again, see how it went really. I didn't think that I'd be good enough, but I've had a lot of experience now, and trainers have started to support me, and I guess I've just got lucky this year. I don't know what it's going to be like next year, but I've really enjoyed it and can't wait to do it all again next year.
You've ridden out your £7 claim now. That is can be a tricky time for apprentices, but you seem pretty ambitious. You're not going to let that worry you.
Yeah, that's right. I've put a lot of thought into it really. You'd like to think when you lose your £7 claim, you'd like to think that you've improved enough to have £2 less. So it's been nice to go into next year with a £5 claim.
And who's particularly supported you in your career so far? You said you've had a lot of people who've really
Yeah, that's right. My mum trains horses, so I've ridden 18 of my 22 this year. I've been for my mum. And trainers like John Hills, Gay Calloway, David Simcock as well, they're all trainers around where I'm based, so they've given me a lot of support and used me when other people might not be available, but I've hopefully proved them that I'm good enough. I'm maybe second best, but I'm still good enough to ride them.
What have been the particular highlights? Are there any horses or any particular races that stand out?
The biggest race I won this year was for David Simcock on a horse called Mabate at my home track Newmarket. It was my first ride there as well, so it was a big day. It was a Class 2 handicap, which is the biggest race I've won. And at my home track as well, all my family were there, so it was a really nice day.
Did you feel much pressure on that occasion? Because Mabate is a really well-known horse, and obviously riding, as you're saying, in front of your family.
Not really. I've ridden Mabate a couple of times before, and he'd won the time before that, so there wasn't really a lot of pressure to get another win out of him. I don't really get nervous, I just sort of enjoy it, and once you're on the horse you just forget about all of that sort of stuff, so it was nice to get a win on him anyway.
I think you've impressed a lot of people with your sort of hard-working ethic, because someone said you rode a winner of one race and then you were leading up for another race later on, so you're still quite hands-on in the yard at home. That's
right, yeah. I have to keep my feet on the ground. I work for my mum, so she makes sure I'm always busy and don't get too big-headed about it. At the end of the day, it's a very fickle game. You can one day be champion, next day be nobody, so you have to keep working hard and hopefully it pays off.
What are your aims looking forward?
Well, obviously in the future you want to carry on riding bigger races with best trainers, but you've got to be realistic about it. Next year it could all end, so we just sort of want to keep our feet on the ground and ride some more winners next year.
Who do you particularly look up to? Are there any jockeys in the weighing room you think, if I could be as good as him or her, I would like to?
Well, growing up I always used to look up to Mick Cannan. He was a big idol of mine. He rode a bit for my mum as well, so he was always someone, just an utter professional. Now it would probably be the likes of Ryan Moore and Richard Hughes. They're the champion jockeys in the UK, so obviously they're the people you want to be looking up to.
I've got to ask you about the ducking stall. Love that horse, she's been really good for you. You've got quite a partnership.
Yeah, that's right. She's my favourite horse. I've won on her 3 times this year. She actually, she's 6 years old now, but she's still improving, and it's crazy to think she's rated about 70 now, and last year she was rated 45. She's just improved no end. Next year we're going for a listed race with her. I probably won't be able to ride her in that, but I love her to bits. She's a great ride, and we get on great.